So today I'm going to talk about QNET and why this is something that you should really stay away from. Well, just to summarize, QNET is a scam, but I would like to talk about this in detail so that you don't make the same mistake that I did. And if you're really lucky, by the end of the video, you will see how you can get your money back. So I've divided this into 10 sections and I will start with the part 1 and I would like to call it as prospecting. So I recently shifted to Bangalore and I already came across random strangers on the bus trying to talk to me about some business opportunities. Well, as they were strangers, I never really paid attention. So it happens that my friend who was living in Mumbai was in touch with me. Suddenly one day I got a call from him telling me that some kind of business opportunity had come up and changed his life. So no matter how much I ask about the business, like he was brush it up saying that, oh, I cannot talk about this on the phone. It is impossible to explain everything, and saying something else, and he would just cut the call. Then the part 2 comes in. It's the offer. So after a couple of days, I got a call from the same friend saying that some position had opened up, and he recommended my name. And this will be a one lifetime opportunity. I should give my best for the interview. He has taken some personal pullings and all those things, and he asked me to bring my PAN copy and my resume. So now we move on to the third part, the interview. So you'll see, like you might have heard this before also, they always select a posh area. It may be a star hotel, or this time it was CCD. So I just reached that place and the person asked me to be seated. So he was wearing a formal dress and looking very sharp. He started talking to me about a lot of things, and after about 10 minutes, he said he's not the person who is going to take the interview, but his boss is coming and starts edifying him for another 10 minutes or so. So now the boss comes in and he is looking like all suited up, and he likes owns half of the country or something like that. And slowly he starts his emotional manipulation. So what happens is they know how to talk, and slowly you start trusting him. And like a drunk fellow, you start blabbering about your past tragedies and why you want to do a business, why do you want to earn money. And then what happens is, using that, he will tell you that you can do so much with the business. By the end of the meeting, you'll be like almost 50% convinced. Then the next part comes, and that is the loan stage. So after the interview on the same night, my friend called and started flattering me. He said, I got a feedback and he's really impressed by you, and he really wants to give you a chance, and there's only one position that is open, and I really tried hard, and you also did great in your interview, and they have decided to take you up. So still I asked him about the business, nothing. He's not the right person to say anything about it, and he will take me to his boss, or the boss will meet up and then they will start explaining about this. So during the interview, there's one more thing. During the interview, the boss was like, "This is a business. This is so-called business. You have to manage everything, the inventories, the spreadsheets, and everything." So it never occurred to me that it might be an MLM or a scam or a pyramid thing. So my dad, he has also done a lot of network marketing. Don't worry, guys, not scams. Proper network marketing like Modi Care and all. And I've grown up seeing all those things. So but by the way these things were going, I had a feeling that it might be an MLM scam. So I called up my friend. I asked, you have to tell me if this is network marketing. Like, if so, I'm not at all interested. So this was his literal words. So he's like, you know me from 2 years. Don't you trust me? Would I ever do something wrong with you? I'm here for you. I'm not running anywhere. So when he said this, like, okay, he's my friend. I trusted him. And then he said, during the interview also, he said, like the boss, he said, you have to deposit an amount of 2.5 lakh. So he's like, this position can close up anytime. And because you are my friend, I've asked them to give some extension. You have to arrange the money as soon as possible. So I started applying for loan here and there. I think I applied for around two or three banks. I applied for loan, and after I got my loan sanctioned, I contacted my friend. So this is part five, guys. It's called the final induction. So after I got the money in my account, I was called for the final round, and I was told that only after this they will take me into the business or they will accept my money. Else, I can just take my money and go. This is kind of a psychological manipulation. So to make sure that you won't think this is a scam, and you own the money, you can take the money and go anytime you want. Again, the interview was in CCD near HSR layout. So coming back to the final induction. So this time it was a different person who was sitting there, the same attire, the blazer, and he started asking me about my last interview. 15 minutes into the conversation, he said like he was not going to take my interview and his boss is coming. And the same boss came in. We exchanged greeting and started the conversation. After around 60 minutes or so of motivating me, he finally told me the name of the business, QNET. At this point, I never really heard about this. An obvious thing to do is Google it. Once you do that, you will see all the negativity around it. So if you just Google QNET, you will see the scams thing and everything. So to make sure I don't go back home and do this, what he started showing me pictures of Bollywood ambassadors, tennis player Martina, like they are the brand ambassadors, income tax returns, and he's like, see, I'm showing you all this. Do you think these powerful people will be associated with the brand? If it was fake, will they take a chance and spoil their name? So I start trusting him more than him, like I trusted my friend. So I agreed, transfer the money, signed the agreement and everything. After that, a girl comes in. We fill the form, and now officially I was a QNET member. So now comes the part six, that's the association. So it's a big thing in QNET. So everything got over by around 8 p.m. And then the so-called boss told me that we'll be heading to the association, which is where I will meet the like-minded billionaires. So after reaching there, everyone introduced themselves. We shook hands. They were welcoming me to the other side of the world. Even though it was 8 p.m., they were telling good morning because in QNET they never say good night or good evening. It's always good morning. And by the way, they were all sitting outside a complex. There's no office, nothing, just on a street. They were roaming here and there, people on call, books in their hand, papers in their hand. And then the boss comes in. Again, he tries to motivate me or tell me that he's like a mentor for me now. And anything in life that is good, bad, I have to tell him. And I was told that after I get up, the first thing I have to do is text him. After each day, after the end of each day, actually, I should send them a report like what I did and all those things. And the next part was to read some books like The Parable of Pipeline. This would go on for a week. Now, the part 7, training to be a fraudster, guys. Slowly, I realized that this is not what I came for. I was told something else, and I feel betrayed, and I felt trapped. Like I already had given 2.5 lakh. I was paying an EMI of 7K each month, and that was a time when I just started working in Bangalore, so my salary was also very less. So the next step for me was to reaching out to my friends, and so they had given me a task to create a contact list. So I had to take each and every name from my contact list on my phone, from Facebook, LinkedIn, anywhere, and I had to write it all down. Then they had given me a booklet type thing where I noted all these things with their name, phone number, and then I had to divide them into 3 categories. It's called hot, warm, and cold contacts. So for hot contacts, I had a script ready, similar for warm and cold. They started taking mock calls and even telling me how my tone should be. So I'll just give you a gist of what I used to say to my warm contacts. I used to pick up the call and it's like, hi, how are you? It's been so long. What are you up to these days? How's everything? Are you in touch with any other schoolmates or college mates and so on? Obviously, now he or she, they will obviously ask me like what I'm doing. My reply will be, oh, what to tell you, it's been so amazing. I'm doing my own business, just fantastic. Life is like that, life is like this. Enough about me, now just tell me about yourself. Like almost 80% of the people, their next question will be, what is the business? To this, my reply would be like, it's very difficult to tell you anything over the call. I can do one thing. As soon as I'm free, I'll give you a call. And I used to hang up. I used to make such calls every day. Like, although I knew I was fooling them, because the next step was to call and tell them an opportunity had opened up. I've recommended your name, that the cycle repeats. I know there's no position, it's an MLM. Even if you bring 100 people, they will ask, oh, only this much, try to bring more. Telling my own friends that a position has opened, I'm recommending their name and so on, to me, that was fraud. And now comes the part 8, my friends. So, one thing about me is like, even if I'm falling to a pit, I will never pull my friends into it. I'll just warn them. So after so much pressure from this so-called boss or the upline, whatever you want to call him, I convinced two of my friends for an interview. I set them up in Garuda Mall, and after the interview, it was my job to convince them to take the loan. They really wanted to do something in life and trusted me a lot. And that trust, somehow, like, I couldn't fool them. So what I did is I told them, like, in case you guys can't arrange the money, no problem, I will talk to my upline, don't worry. And I just went to my upline, made some excuse, random excuse, so that he doesn't go behind them and chase them. Now comes part 9, the ray of hope. So I used to hardly sleep for 3 to 4 hours in a day. Either I will be in the office or with QNET members. And this was a time where my mother seriously fell like very ill. I had no money. It was like a really shitty time. There was a day when I literally broke down in front of my upline. I just started crying. I couldn't send a single penny home. My salary would go into EMI, traveling to office, rent, food. I was really broke. When I thought that I literally like I lost it, this was around 3 weeks into QNET. I met a guy at the association who was again also like he was also against QNET, but he already had put his money around 5 or 6 lakh, and he was really forced to do it. I was very visibly upset, so he came to me, comforted me, and told him that there was a way out. And that is when I got to know that there is a 30-day refund policy of the company. Now we come to the part 10, getting my life back. So he warned me not to talk anything about the refund to anyone, not even my friend or my upline. So what he suggested is I directly call the company. It's called Vihan in Bangalore, and tell them that I wish to cancel my membership and get the refund. Although I was really like skeptical that I would get any of my money back, but it was kind of the only option I had. So what happened is next day I sent an email. I placed a refund request. To my surprise, they agreed for the refund. Once I got the confirmation, I told my upline that I was leaving Bangalore as my mom was unwell and I was not in a position to do the business. The reason I didn't tell them the truth, like I think this is fraud and all those things, is because I was really scared that they would interfere and they would stop the refund process and all. And although they really tried their best to convince me, I didn't budge. They even told me that I would lose all of my money because they were not aware that I already had applied for the refund. So after waiting for almost 2 months, I got my money back and immediately went and closed down the loan. So in just 3 weeks in being QNET, I lost almost 30 to 40K. And I'm so thankful to God and that person who saved me from this trap. And also very glad that I didn't pull any of my friends into this. See, my message to everyone is that you should always be careful or cautious when they are ready to share their golden egg laying duck with you, even if they are your best friends. See, even if you have already fallen into this trap, don't try to trap others. You may lose money, but you will always have your support from your friends and family members. You should really go talk to them. And I hope you guys, whoever is listening to this, be aware of this scam. And if you see someone who is trying to do this, just educate them. This is not the right way. Share your feedback, guys. See you next time.